We begin with the mass layoffs underway as we speak at the State Department. I want to bring in NBC News Chief Foreign Affairs correspondent Andrea Mitchell. I understand, Andrea, those termination notices began hitting inboxes this morning. What do we know about it?
Well, frankly, I've been covering the State Department officially since 1994, unofficially before that, as I covered different administrations from the White House and from the Hill. And I have to tell you, this is devastating. In a statement, the organization that represents foreign service officers, the diplomats who are also, involved in this, as well as the civil service employees, each of those groups have their own protections. Those are being ignored and overruled by the Supreme Court decision, lifting a federal court injunction that had prevented this from happening. There's been a lot of uncertainty, so some people are expressing relief that at least now they know. But in terms of the last 6 months, according to the Association of Foreign Service Officers, the diplomats, 20% of our diplomats have been eliminated, and they're not eliminated by decisions on merit or on language facility or on experience or on where they are serving in the world. There are 2 wars going on and a lot of crises around the world. They were just eliminated across the board without any kind of attention to how they've achieved what their merit is, what their experience levels are. And
the second round of federal layoff is taking place, and a lot of federal workers will basically get laid off in the coming days because the government just announced that they will be laying off close to 1,400 federal workers. And this will have an impact in State Department, in the workers in the State Department, mostly people that work in the HR department, people that work in refugees and immigrant department, and even people that work for relief program that help countries throughout the world that is going through conflict. For example, situation that's going on in Gaza, between Israel and Gaza. The United States sent aid. The United States sent a lot of relief program. There's a lot of relief program that actually assist the people who are dealing with conflict in places such as Gaza and Ukraine. They help them out with medical equipment. They help them out with food assistance. And there's many programs like that in the State Department that the United States government, that the new administration is basically announcing that they plan on cutting those costs. Because when President Trump came in power, when he took power in the beginning of the year, he made it clear that he planned on cutting costs throughout the government because the government is too big. And he wanted to make sure that the government functioned efficiently. For a lot of workers, they're devastated. There's a lot of workers who are protesting outside the State Department throughout the nation in places such as Washington, D.C., New York City. And they're basically concerned and they're nervous because they don't know what they're able to do after they get laid off. Because working for the federal government, it's a pretty nice job because you get a lot of benefit. There's a lot of benefit that come with working for the federal government. You get a full pension, you get a full health care, you get a lot of discount when it comes to things such as flights. There's a lot of things that just come along with working for the federal government that is beneficial that you probably won't be able to receive if you work in the public or even the private sector. So a lot of workers are actually nervous. Many of them are protesting because the way that they are being treated in a way to basically get laid off at this point. And a lot of them are being offered either a buyout or to just go to unemployment or go find a different job. And in most cases, the buyout will not be as much as it would if they had like a job with the federal government where they make a lot of money. So this is devastating in so many ways because many of the workers feel like what they do is very valuable and very important for the world because they're actually helping people out throughout the world. But the U.S. government look at it as, well, we are helping people out in the world, but there's people here in the United States that also need help. Instead of us sending money outside the United States to help in places that is going through their own conflict that we don't know nothing about, It's probably better to take those money and help the people here in the United States, which was the reason why President Donald Trump ran for president, because he basically was campaigning this message because he wanted to cut the cost of the government, because he feel like the government is helping out more people outside instead of helping out people here in the United States. So a lot of workers are frustrated because of that, and they're protesting. And this is just a continuing cycle that we will see probably in the near future, because we forget that he has not done a whole year yet. He only been in power since January. So we have another 3 years left. So we will see another round of layoff that's happening, another round of layoff that's happening, because we see that also with tech industry. We see that with a lot of retail. We see that with a lot of companies such as Microsoft, IBM, Apple, Intel. All these companies are basically choosing to lay off a lot of workers. And this is just a continuing cycle that we're going to be seeing throughout this whole 4 years of just layoff and layoff and layoff in different sectors, in different departments, and even in different government facilities and government organization.
Then relocation service is being eliminated. Well, that was legislated by Congress to not go out of business until 2027 for people who had worked in Afghanistan with our military, with our State Department, with our CIA, with the intelligence people. And many of those people are still stranded in Doha and other places in Pakistan, unable to get here. They haven't been properly visaed. So they have to return to Afghanistan, to the Taliban. Having worked with the Americans during the war, you know what they face. They face jail or execution. So there's just so much involved here. And just one, final example. Right now, there is, terrible starvation and lack of fuel, lack of medical care in Gaza. And the State Department has been giving blanket support for this American and Israeli supported humanitarian relief organization that's operating in 4 sites in southern Gaza only. And there is widespread reporting, not only by the UN and by other agencies, but reporting by credible news sources as well as our own teams on the field in Gaza of horrific conditions. And the State Department doesn't have the bandwidth or the will to have real facts coming from the ground. They just keep saying, well, meals are being distributed when people are dying.
Andrea Mitchell, I know you'll keep on top of this.
Getting laid off is very devastating, because I've been laid off before, especially when you have to walk back to your car. It's a slow walk at the point where once you sit in your car, you just start just thinking okay, what's my next move? What is there out there for me? You start questioning a lot of stuff. You start looking at jobs applications, going to job sites to make sure that, you can at least try to apply for so many jobs. But even that, the job market just sucks. That's just the reality. The job market is collapsing. There's a high unemployment rate that is rising. There's so many people that are basically getting laid off in so many sectors. And for a lot of federal workers, they might try to go into the private sector, which is already saturated with so many people who are on the waiting list, so many people that have applied. And they also have to go to the public sector, which is probably just the same as the private sector. So for so many federal workers, they don't know what to do. Many of them are crying, because I watch other videos in other platforms where I'm seeing a lot of federal workers. They're crying, they're hugging each other, and there's people who are protesting outside the building because they're concerned about their job. And this will be a continuing cycle, because this is just the beginning. And this is for federal workers. Now imagine people who are working in so many other industries, retail, tech, transportation, because most of these industries will implement artificial intelligence, which we're seeing it now, where a lot of software engineering, a lot of programmers, a lot of coders are being replaced by artificial intelligence. And people are just getting laid off. And sooner or later, we're going to have a huge unemployment rate in the United States. And a lot of people are not ready for that. So my suggestion for many of them will probably be, try to be creative, try to think outside the box, because you can either try to be, try to hustle or try to find other means to be able to try to make a living, which include probably going into a different sector such as health, because health seem a little bit more stable than many other industry that's being replaced by artificial intelligence. You can try to invest in yourself, try to learn a new skill, try to learn a new trade, for example, with plumbing, with electrician, with a carpenter. Um, there's other ways, or you can try to just take a risk and try to start a business. It's something that you feel passionate about, or get inside a social media world where you start also becoming a content creator, try to create ways to be able to motivate people to be an influencer in the domain that you're specialized in. So there's other ways that you can try to navigate to be able to try to make money, but it's not an easy transition for so many people, especially if you work in that sector or in that organization for years and years and years, and you probably already had a pension that was going on. You probably already have a 401k, you have a family, you have a mortgage, you have a car note, you have so many things that is dependent upon you, and now you're laid off and now you don't know what to do. So a lot of people will be in that scenario, and a lot of people, especially in the State Department that's getting laid off, will be in that scenario, and it's sad to see. That's the unfortunate situation, but it is what it is. It's the world that we live in. It's the reality that we got to face. And let me know what you think in the comment.